Paul just wanted to explore the path near the cliff edge, but he didn't expect to slip and fall off the cliff. Terrified, I hurried down the mountain to check the situation, only to find Paul lying on the ground in great pain. I quickly took off my coat and covered him with it. Seeing that Paul's arm couldn't move, I immediately realized it was fractured, so I quickly found some branches nearby and fixed the broken arm. Watching Paul in such pain, I only then remembered that I had painkillers in my pocket. After giving him a few pills, Paul finally felt a bit better. Watching my boyfriend, whom I had only been dating for a few days, suffering like this, I felt terrible inside. But now I had no choice, because we had been trapped in the mountains for several days without eating anything. To get rescue, I could only support Paul and continue moving forward. But we hadn't walked far when Paul suddenly started vomiting blood. Realizing something was wrong, I quickly found a place and let Paul lie down. What I never expected was that Paul's stomach was covered with bruises. Obviously, Paul had suffered internal injuries from falling off the cliff. Things having come to this, Paul had no choice but to let me leave alone, because he knew he wouldn't live much longer. He couldn't bear to have me, his beloved, watch him die. Although I didn't want to abandon him, I still had no choice. Before leaving, I told him that if I found people, I would rush back here to save him as soon as possible. Soon, I arrived alone at a forest. At this moment, I had almost no strength left. But just then, I suddenly heard a strange sound. When I stopped to observe, I was completely stunned. A hungry wolf had already set its eyes on me. Terrified, I could only run desperately, but how could 2 legs outrun 4 legs? Realizing that the hungry wolf wouldn't let me go, I had to take off my coat, wrap it around my arm, and immediately engage in a fierce battle with the wolf. Fortunately, although the hungry wolf was fierce, it wasn't smart enough, and I eventually managed to kill it. After walking out of the forest, I finally found a road, but just then, I passed out from exhaustion. I thought my life would end there, but when I woke up, I found myself lying in a hospital with my mother sitting by my bedside. It wasn't until then that I learned the truth. It turned out I had been saved by a passing driver. After learning that my boyfriend was in the next room, my anxious heart finally settled. After we were both discharged from the hospital, we returned to the mountain where we first met.